just, in fact, who rather lay in a complaint to, they will listen to what they empower. Election time, people know how important. After election, we saw they say we are Muslim minority.
Yeah. They say the evil a man does live after him, but the good is often turn with his food. So let it be the season. If I for report, my people tired suffering. We need a change. Listen, you're not need to tell me what's happy. I can see it in your eye, no something happy. I can see it. You're not talking when your heart's talking, telling me you're hungry, you're not getting nothing. You're poor, you're getting full. Some of your life more than deep hole and cover hole. Some of your lost you the same of them. Some of your breadwinners said the woman said no job. You're fed up with the hard living. Just to survive, some of your inner in the street baking. Because the people also don't help you. Who you're putting for? Look at how they did about you. They lie. They're not finished with the poverty reduction strategy. They lie to your division 2030. So empty. So can let it give it. At the end, the defeat all of your improperty. Calamity. I wish I was a millionaire. And some of them I know empire. Let me make it clear. Instead of Johnny politics, I will build horses. Get loose to the post so they can pay taxes.
Me kuli de jano, me kuli de jano. Ola, wala na de no
You can't see, you get more, you can't tell your folk can't even work. People hate you because you hate the kia. Why you got to lay in the kia? You're all in the community. What if I say the day for those with disability? Then come and say that we open the school. You now see 100 people go to school. Instead of giving job to the jobless, hope to the hopeless, home to the homeless. They manipulate the system and make it worse. Now they come and make it even about a cup of rest. One man in more than 3 positions. They same thing they were against when they were opposition. You tell me what we living to. So they think they got peace and justice only for the poor. To be a money, they want you sell your soul. Either you cross the road or you bend down low. But I'm not, I pray that my people rise. That one day God will show them your heart of the cry.
Because we could eat it, we could eat it,
You know, when I see my country blessed with all the natural resources, and yet instead I see my people living in under poverty, then I question myself, where have we gone wrong? I just wish I have the power to share the national cake, so everybody can have a taste.
All they say, who go to school, who no job, or who get pregnant. What's in the screen, and they got money behind you, why they get you watching, what did they take your own back, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm a graduate and everywhere I've applied, there has to be 10 years experience. If that is impossible.
We the after them widows, the government comes our husbands benefits and up for now we just see a good road. No good school. They have sector poor. Why anything like a jacket a photo? The politicians stay giving us empty promises. What happened now?
Who would trust? In fact, who rather lay in the community? They will listen to what they empower. No election time, people know how it all. I'm not election before they say we are Muslim minority.
Yeah. They say the evil a man does live after him, but the good is often turn with his food. So let it be the season. If I put the ball, my people tired suffering. We need a change. Listen, you're not need to tell me what's happy. I can see it in your eye. No something happy. You're not sucking when your heart's so heat and telling me you're hungry, you're not getting nothing. You're poor, you're careful. Some of your life more than people in couple hole. Some of your lost you the civil man, some of your breadwinners said you for me similar job. You're fed up with the hard living, yes to survive. Some of your inner in the street picking. You thought if you also could have your New York prison for look at how they in the back of yours. They lie. They're not finished with the poverty reduction strategy. They lie to your division 2030. So empty. So Kale and give and at the end of the week, all of your impoverty. I wish I was a millionaire. And someone there I know and Ryan, let me make it clear. They lie to your division 2030. So empty. They're not finished with the poverty reduction strategy. They lie to your division 2030. So empty. So Kale and give and at the end of the week, all of your impoverty. I wish I was a millionaire. And someone there I know and Ryan, let me make it clear. Instead of Johnny politics, I would build horses. Get loose to the post so they can pay taxes.
One more freedom when they welcome me, they say they were freedom fighters. When they welcome me, they say they were liberators. But when they kill their crown, they change their mind. When they kill their crown, they change their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Freedom fighters.
What a great day it is. And what a wonderful opportunity it feels to be back behind these microphones to engage on the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development. It is another brand new day. And of course, a pleasant way we'd like to welcome all of you folks. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, just wherever you are this morning on our voice.
When they welcome me, they say they were
A pleasant good morning to our friends,
when they welcome
our followers,
liberator,
and of course to those of you in the diaspora.
they change
It's always a good thing to have you join us
their crown.
for breakfast on the issues that matter most to Liberia's growth and development.
They are freedom fighters.
And there are too many things to talk about, lots of things happening in Liberia.
Freedom
You
fighters.
freedom fighter, you raping our women.
And of course, we are back to engage
Freedom fighter, you killing our children.
on the issues that matter most.
Freedom fighter,
Without fear nor favor, we speak truth to power.
aye,
This is exactly what we do here on the big station.
ayo, 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 ayo.
Yes, indeed. Good morning and welcome.
Aye,
How does the menu look this morning?
ayo.
We go again on day 2 of a look at
Ayo.
questions about transparency, accountability, and value for money around the acquisition of the yellow machines in Liberia. Squarely placed under the purview of the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. There has since been very genuine questions being raised on the spec of machines, the quantum, the number of equipment, the category, the specifications, and of course, the overall cost of contracts. And these are questions we intend to insist on asking the Office of the Vice President to come clean and, of course, clear and tell the Liberian people exactly whether or not this was actual value for money. And this must not be another opportunity where we just move past issues. We must hold this one down and let the duty bearer give us the necessary answers that we need. And we are sure that, of course, the way the country is moving in a transparent, open, and of course accountable manner. Something that a lot of us, the critic, doubt, significantly doubt. That's why all we are doing is to ask the hard questions and allow them to come up to tell us exactly what is going on. And of course, today we continue from exactly where we stopped on yesterday. We look at these issues around the yellow machines, and of course, especially the first batch and all of that. What the government said, what we saw, was this what the Liberian people expected. Right here on Freedom 87.9. Yes, there are too many other things happening in the country, but it's important we stick to this, because imagine the country had to go in to take a loan. Imagine from 2024, since the president talked about this up to now, there were no way for the president and the government to make available some 30 million, and that we had to go credit money to buy to procure these machines and bring them. And then the question under which that we even did that, and then somebody said we shouldn't ask. After complaining that the first arrangement was burdensome, was going to cost the country a lot, and then we go into a loan arrangement. So, for example, if the government took let's say $24 million, you realize that at the end of the day, we'll pay way more than, something around 30 million or plus. In all of the arrangement and other small dealing, you people who are aware of these loan things, you know exactly what it is. So by the time the whole yellow machine team goes down, we could be well over 40 to 40 plus million. These are just rough, projections. Looking at it from the wider picture, the bigger picture as to what did we get ourselves into? Why? The government. Why is the government not coming clean to make full disclosure? Somebody told me that, of course, the mayor appointed to lead the coordinating committee of the yellow machines, Bernie Samuka, has announced that he's going to be creating some 1,000 plus jobs, 1,300, 1,500 jobs. Okay, sounds good. So who's going to pay them? Where the pay is going to come from? It will come from exactly the people of Liberia. And when asked about he himself, are you going to be paid or is it a pro bono? How are you going to be paid? The man said he's going to be paid at the level of a cabinet minister. Folks, are you hearing that? Bernie Samuka said he's going to be paid at the level of a cabinet minister. After harmonization, let me see, I think cabinet minister probably taking around 4,000 or 4,000 change, or even more. But assuming that is exactly what it is, but it is what it is because that's what he said. And of course, he said clearly in the interview that he's not going to lie. That's the arrangement that saw him being appointed as the coordinator for the Yellow Machines Committee. When they welcome me, they say, and then you imagine his deputy. He has 3 deputies. And all of them are equally going to be paid at the level of deputy ministerial positions across. So it's a whole new ministry setup. A whole new ministry setup. And this is it. We told you exactly what it was, and that's how we prefer these things going under the supervision of the Ministry of Public Works, as much as we have our own fundamental disagreement with the current minister. But yet again, this is the umbrella institution responsible for these kinds of undertakings in the country. But that is that. So what is this report? Growing report of sodomy, rape, and of course domestic violence, sexual exploitation and abuses are going on in the country. And of course, yesterday one came up, reported in the Verity News, And of course, the police spokesman Sam Collins came out through his Facebook handle debunking any possibility of a police investigation in any matter relating to a Nigerian pastor and a Liberian boy who was alleged to have been sodomized to death. And then subsequently we saw a sort of report circulating again on the social media. So the news organization said that, of course, the matter was that was a responsible position of the news organization to say, as much as this is an alleged sodomy case, but we are telling you that the police is in charge. The police say, our hand is up. We now get that too much sodomy thing. We're not investigating. You're bringing all of one chungy around. Then we're not inside our hand inside. So why is the police always running away from sodomy cases? When people say, "Oh, they now do fair getting to people cheering," the police looks, appear very reluctant to investigating these kinds of things and what have you. And then they follow the public sentiment and this kind. Any report about embarrassing rape cases of minor and things, the police RG always don't like you guys to go into these kinds of investigations that much. I mean, that's something we're trying. It's a pattern that we're gradually, observing and noticing. You saw the Bill McGill Jones situation, right? And then this other one, whether it's true or not, but why should the police refuse to be part of investigation or go there to even get involved with investigation when it was brought to the knowledge of the police? There's report from there is a recording that's always also been published. This thing needs to be investigated. We don't care how people see it or what the issues that they want to pick with Martin Colley and what have you. We are not concerned about that. Our concern is these kinds of despicable happenings in the country must be thoroughly investigated, irrespective of who is reporting it. It has to be checked, and the state must take up the responsibility to go after it. And the state must not act as a party to personal disagreements and rivalry and what have you. It does not substitute, not at all. And I think I like to say this for the first time. My friend and brother Sam Collins, they don't do well. His response was hasty, and of course, it was not adequately well thought. So, like we promised, we're gonna go back into issues of the Middle East conflict to bring you some little background and history. Just to put our audience and our followers in the right frame of mind as they engage these global subjects. My name is Abu Sharif, and of course, this is the Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. The shape and size of the conversation for you this morning, part of our theme song. And of course, once we come back, we go strictly into these conversation plus more.
Music. Aha.
About music, there are crowds in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime and put it, don't take law in your hand for the real authority, that it can't take care of it. Crime stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door, whether you rich or you poor. If you see you must talk it, I mean you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Okay, Crime Stopper Liberia is the official partner and sponsor of the Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. And of course, we are open to sponsorship and partnership. For those of you wanting to get your business out, this is the biggest platform in the country. You can come and let's talk about it. And of course, we can help you sell that goods that's languaging on your shelf, right? Sell that service that's not really connecting with the ideal customers. Come, let's get you your people that you need for your service. Right here on Freedom 87.9, Liberia's most listened to radio in the country. So let's go now to bring you views from our followers. Kindly share the show, drop your comments on the different subject matter. All right, whether it's the yellow machine, just whatever your thoughts are about it. The condition of it. I mean, it is your right to talk about it. It is each of us right to ask the different questions that comes to our mind. The government said they were bringing heavy duty moving equipments, and then we started seeing 10-tire trucks. We started seeing pickups in their numbers in the first batch that came, 137. But we're seeing more 10-tire trucks, not even dump trucks, right? And we are seeing water tankers, these mini water tankers, not even the 12-tire water tankers, though, right? But rather 6-tire, 6-tire water tankers, 10-tire, and and what have you. So we are beginning to say, is it value for money? How much were these one? How much did these one cost? And then we can just oppose that with the overall, cost to the country, because we don't want to reach a point where at the end of the day somebody can tell us, say, the whole yellow machine arrangement from start to finish in the country we spend $70 million. Don't be surprised. I see now here telling you some of the things, because we know some of the things are going on, and that's why we are sounding the caveat right now. I know like all of you are busy on whether the yellow machine, in fact, the management team, what they say they will do, blah blah blah. Me, I ain't even reached to that point yet. I've not reached to the point where I got to start looking at Bernie Samuka, the structuring, the appointment, or what it means, blah blah blah. I've not really reached to that yet. I'm still at the point where, the acquisition happening and everything. I'm still at the point of the vice president, right? Before turning it over to Bernie Samuka and his folks. So let's exhaust adequately, right? Because you can now hold Bernie Samuka liable for acquisition-related, transactions. So transaction around the acquisition is what we're actually focusing our eyes on, to make sure that there are sufficient clarities around these. Because yes, this is not free money, and I'll keep hammering this. It is not free money. We are going to pay for it, right? The president lied that he had a good friend. It turned out to be a blatant lie. He has nobody trusts him. Nobody has that faith or confidence in him to even give him $1 million, to even give him 100,000. He has not even able to get it from any friend anywhere. That's how disconnected this person is. That's how unserious he is, of course. A man has no face, he has no personality, he has no charisma. He has absolutely nothing to his credit. I can move anywhere and say, oh, as a president, this is what I was able to get. On the strength of my network, this is what I was able to make happen for my country. And then you have Chinese people just designing a whole corrupt syndicate and delivering something. No record to show that machine was even bought from Shitu Corporation in China. No records. So all the trips you have made going back and forth, right? China coming back. So scheming trips. At the end of the day, Evergreen had to go sit down somewhere, and we don't even know where they collected the machine from. We don't even know, right? But the fact that you all saw video of people going to China, so you just believe, you all know the illusion that these machines were purchased from China. But the record has to show that trail. And that's the record we are following. That's the record we are asking them to make available. Let's be sure. So this is a challenge to the Vice President's office. But anyway, we'll get there. Now, let's begin by recognizing Jeremy Dwyer. Jeremy Dwyer is watching live. William W. Wu, Liberal Civil Rights Movement official spokesperson, is watching live from Upper Catwell, Monrovia, Liberia. Good morning, brother. Thanks. And this is Augustine. Let me see. Augustine T. Musa. Awesome. Congratulations, he says. Favor L. Morris, my dear sister. Morning, Abu. Good morning, Favor. Elizabeth A. Thomas. I'm watching from Sea Town. Thanks a lot from Sea Town. Okay, so we, but anyway, let it happen fully. Then because we've been making some advocacy on behalf of the people of Sea Town. The people that were extremely stranded. The government has turned its back. There's an elderly lady with a pupil. I mean, her granddaughter. I mean, and they're sleeping outside in the cold. They're sleeping outside in the cold. So we flag it, and there's an expression of a desire to make some intervention, and there's been different offers. So behind the scene, we are handling that. Once it comes fully, I believe at that point we can say something about it. But that's just to tell you that you have a reckless government who's really not caring about the people, irrespective of what their conditions are. Emmanuel Bro, right, says, good morning, Abu, Sharif, and my fellow viewers. I'm watching from Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA on this Tuesday, March 3, 2026. Thanks a lot, Emmanuel. You're always following, and we're grateful. Estelle G. Place. Estelle G. Place says, good morning. I'm watching from Bartonsville Junction. Amara Jala Kamara. Good morning, Freedom Radio Liberia family and my peace-loving people of Salaye District. I'm following live from Brussels as usual. Many thanks to the entire Freedom FM team for the tremendous job. Thanks always for being there as a very consistent follower and supporter of the work we do. Christian Sharp says, good morning, great people. I'm watching from my community fan there. J. Emmanuel Nice. Good morning, Freedom family. I'm following from Johnsonville City View. Ambassador Walton Buchu Morgan Jr. I'm following from my Johnsonville resident, Vice Chairman for the Warfare CDC, regular intellectual militant, Asata Miller Rice. Good morning, Freedom Morning Rise. Family, I'm watching live from Soul Clinic community. Good to be on the show. Thanks, and it's good to have you as well. Simeon Glagboga Greatness Fopa. Good morning, Freedom family. I'm watching from Gardnersville. It says government farm on the Marshall Highway. Government farm. Prince P. Kaipa. It says, good morning, Freedom FM family. I'm watching from D17 Banjo. Expose these criminals in this government. And God bless George Weah, he says. Perry Slobert, good morning, Brother Abu. I'm following you live from the states of New Jersey, USA. Thanks. And this is Charles Bapu, right? Dolobapu, Charles Dolobapu says, good morning. And I'm again watching from a Soul Clinic belt. I said Dolobapuism. Robert S. Bryan, good morning, Freedom. Good morning, Robert. And so, Emmanuel Kamara, following via the YouTube channel, says, from my comfort zone, keep updating the Liberian people on national issues. Thanks. Chris Kuhn, good morning, Freedom family. Anna Kekula, good morning. I'm following you from Bond County. Thanks a lot. Chris Wule, good morning, Abu M. Sharif. I'm watching from Batmansville Estate, District number 11. Asari Kane, good morning. I'm Asari, watching from my home in St. Paul Bridge. Thanks for the show. Let's go down and bring you. Okay, Alaska P says, good morning, bro Abu. I'm watching from GSA Road. William Boya. I'm William Boya from Zozo, Lower Margibi. Zazon, okay, Zazon, Lower Margibi County. James Lamy, good morning, bro Abu. Good morning, James. More and more, keep dropping your comment and sharing the show. Please kindly support by sharing the show. And of course, let more and more people come on and benefit from exactly what we do here for our country, because there will be a time for you to equally come and chip in and say, this is the people's station. This is the people's show. In fact, this show is for you. It's because of you we're here. And of course, we work as early as 4 a.m. every other day to come here to serve you with very credible and reliable information. Paul Johnson, I'm watching you from Grand Bassa County. Nathan P. Samuel Kofi Woods Jr., Valasana Kamara is joining from Conakry, and this is Johnson Robert, Nathan M. Jigbadai. You have Alaska Pay as well. Come back again. Augustine Yandemo, Henry T. To Jr., Mohammed Marema J. Sharif, Frederick Okono Defer, Elijah Sipo, Abraham Dukle, J. Melvin Julu, James B. Zofle, and then you have Patricia John, okay, Mo Davis, Tule, Josephine, Zogbe, Mami's son also, right? Let's see. Let's bring you another 4 more right here. Recognition. 4 more. You have Sarah Tule, Patricia, Lawrence M. Tale. Lawrence, good morning, my dear brother. Welcome. Abraham Tanu Johnson. You have Wele Wuya. Good morning from my end, Abu. I'm following from our RIA Highway R2 community. Thanks to all of you for joining, and kindly share the show. And let's have a great time together right here on the People's Radio, Freedom 87.9. Okay, so now let's bring you few updates quickly so that you know around you some of the other issues that are happening. So there's been this debate around the proposed amendment to the LACC law. So records have it that the legislature is having before them a proposal from President Boakai to change the LACC law. The LACC is the Liberal Anti-Corruption Commission. But now, pundits are saying and looking at the background from where the president is coming and the nature of the president's proposal and what is opting to achieve, right? and then going a little step back to see what the law was, what it became, and what the president is trying to make it into. There are three phases right there. So before now, the law was developed in such a way, particularly the portion the president is trying to amend was designed in such a way that gives exclusive authority to the president to decide at will on dismissal or removal of commissioners. So many integrity analysts and, of course, pundits have said it has got the ability, for political interference and manipulation, or it could, in a way, but the fact that this man is running an independent integrity organization, but the man knows that his being there is subject to a political authority exclusively, right? It could, in a way, arm twist or bend the person's objectivity, or have an impact on the objectivity of the person's working. And that was arguments that were around, and a lot of people were calling for this scrutiny of the anti-graft organizations or institutions. Ellen they were to set it up, but there were too many crowds that these anti-graft institutions were toothless. They never had the tooth to bite anything. They weren't really going after anything, and fingers or eyes were placed on these kind of portions within the law. Say, but how the man will go tough? Why it involves somebody that's so dear to the president? The man goes tough, or this goes tough, or hold a tough position in the commission, he or she could be removed, and nobody would dare ask the question, and the president would not even think about a review panel to be sure that the removal is in line with the laws, in keeping with termination of service. So now, former President Weah came to the helm, a listening man believing that he has got nothing to hide, he has got nothing to shield. He opted out, okay, let's review the law to meet the demand of the public and what the public wants to see an anti-graft institution looks like. So he made changes to the law involving the Senate in any decision to remove a commissioner. That is independence to a larger extent. So at that point, the man is saying, this exclusive authority you're giving, because I want the whole fight against corruption to be everybody's business, so that when I wake up one day, when one commissioner made me invest, I say you're fired the man. No, it will not work like that. If I say you're fired the man, the Senate must review why I won't fire the man, and the Senate must make sure that those reasons are in keeping with what the law requires before they can permit. Baka who say corruption, too many countries coming for corruption. Baka can see it that way and say no. And say the Machina law, he wanted that, he wanted to be a one. So that when he decide, when he say, oh, the whole yellow machine thing, what Mamaka ability now doing, LCC man not go there. When you dare, you go there, he'll fire you. Even though the whole country crying about how Mamaka ability now arranging that whole yellow machine thing, but you now see LCC put them more inside to say, oh, want ask question, they can, because if they try it, Baka will fire them. So, fair librarian, it's important for you to understand exactly where we are. So, your man, what your boss say, incoming rescue, incoming for corruption, that the man say, the way they made a corruption law then, it was too strong, and no compromise is allowed there. He get the flexibility to do a thing, and you won't protect people then. So, he won't bring the law back to the way we're looking, what he can decide. Go investigate the other person. Don't investigate the other person. Investigate the other person, I will fire you. So they old man, looking at somebody who really came for rescue to you. They old man. He look at any human being that came for real rescue. How you came for rescue, then you attacking the anti-graft law, the anti-graft institution that's meant to safeguard our treasury, that's meant to safeguard the public interest. You launching attack on the one. They old man what used to be wearing BB trousers passing around here. Look at somebody who came to wage war on corruption. Well, I leave that with all of you to answer. Then move to something else, right? Okay, folks, it's important. This report in Ghana about a 26-year-old Liberian boy that was a young man that was mobbed to death. And so the latest is that police have already begun investigating the matter in Ghana, and they have apprehended 3 suspects, and these 3 are undergoing police investigations in Ghana and what have you, blah blah blah. Just to give you an update on it, I can see what the position of the government of Liberia has been down here, but I think the embassy in Ghana, the Liberian embassy in Ghana, has been involved as well, right, with the police trying to ensure that the process is followed. Just to let you know, so Austin died, and terribly. Nobody should die because of the view that they hold, and through argumentation and all of that. Nobody should lose their life for that, because you want to overpower the man. You have no absolute, authority over what is right or what is wrong, and what have you. Peace to his ashes, and of course, condolences to the family and all of us Liberians. So this is exactly what it is. So, folks, let's come home now to our issues. The Russia-Ukraine, did I say war Russia? But the Israel-U.S. attack on Iran has entered its 4th day. And so, as it has entered its 4th day, it has also taken a long, a different spear, and of course, move different things in different stages as well. Somebody said the war is gradually moving from the display of military strength, and then to the display of economic capacity or capabilities, because I mean your ability to impact the war economy. People are threatening on the basis of their ability to impact the war economy, particularly from Iran's perspective, right? If you have been following the news from yesterday, from when we left up to this morning, and some of the actions that are going on, and in fact, the targets now, the objectives are shifting. Even the president of America, in fact, he has expanded the objective. He has taken it to about 4 different counts, unlike before. You just want to change the regime and detonate or obliterate nuclear potential. But now he has added 2 others. I will try to get it. And then the Iranians are also expanding. They're expanding. Instead of we're seeing strikes. Initially, strikes were going directly for U.S. bases that are assumed or presumed to be diplomatic territory of the United States in those Gulf countries. They're targeting inland as much as it is still U.S. assets. But when you go for Aramco, right, the state refinery in Saudi Arabia, that means you are going beyond. The actions are having ramification beyond the scope and, of course, the target initially pronounced. And these have dire consequences on the global markets, the economic outlook of things. And this is where Liberians need to focus their energy more instead of the religious or, ethnic or whatever sentiment that's attached. But these things are also there because if you read the history of the war, or the relationship between Iran, something I'm going to run you over briefly, the history between Iran and America, it has shifted in phases, and different things have been significantly responsible. It all boiled down to oil, economy, power, control, and of course, geopolitical authority in the region. Now, what are the things that we want you to know, or at least have an idea on as you engage and follow up on these conversations? Like I said, having observed the different confused reaction to this, it becomes our duty as journalists now to provide some enlightenment on what we can do. So we do small research. We come, we tell you folks, this is what it is. This is what it is. Now, on, like I promised yesterday, the ethnic composition and religious composition in both Iran and Israel, so that you all know from where you're coming. Now, let's begin with Iran. Iran is pretty diverse. And sometimes you need to understand that the diversity of Iran accounts greatly for, the political interests and different other issues that they get involved with. But just know that the diversity is a reflection that it is not, a one religious group of people thing or a one tribal group of people thing. So you have Persians there, you have Azerbaijani, you have the Kurdish, you have the Luri, the Arab, you have the Balochi and the Turkmen, plus other groups accounting for 1%. In Iran, the Persians account for around 61%, the largest. The Azerbaijani, they are 16%, the Kurdish, 10% of the Iranian population, the Luri or the Lurs are 6%, the Arabs are just 2% of the Iranian population. For those of you probably that have anti-Arab sentiment, and you think when you hit on Iran, that means you're achieving your objective. No, you're not, right? Because the Arabs are just made of 2% of the Iranian population, right? The Balochi are made up of equally 2%. The Turkmen are 2%, and other groups are 1%. So the largest are the Persians, right? Which are 61% of the Iranian population. The Azerbaijani are 16%, and the Kurdish are 10%. So, what does that go to say? It goes to say that your Arab sentiment against Iran does not justify, actually. So when Iran is obliterated, it is just a minute 2% of Arabs that are affected. For those of you that are cheering the war because you think Arabs are under attack, it's not squarely because how you see people dress, you just assume that they're Arabs. These education are important. Now, let's go to the religious composition. The religious composition is key for you to understand. So, in Iran, as an Islamic republic, there is an overwhelming majority, making up 99% of the population, right? Which are Muslims. But then the Muslims are divided into the two major Islamic denominations, Shia and Sunni. The Shia Muslims are the largest. Around 89 to 90% of the total population are Shia Muslims. So you need to understand these dichotomy. For example, you're in Liberia. What sort of Muslims do we see among the two major sets of Islamic denomination? The Sunni Muslims are mostly in West Africa, right? The sub-Saharan area are predominantly Sunni Muslims and what have you. So if you have a sentiment against Sunni Muslims, right, it will not suffice because you have about 90% of the population in Iran that are Shia Muslims, right? Sunni Muslims account or they constitute around 9 to 10% of the population in Iran. Yes, the leadership is Sunni, but it is Shia, structuring and support and dominance within the area there. Concentrated among Kurdish, the Sunni Muslims are concentrated among Kurdish, Baloch, Turkmen, and some Arab communities, right? Non-Muslims, to include Christians and other groups, right, are made of 1%. Christian, mainly American Apostolic, roughly 300,000 people. And then you have the Zoroastrians, approximately 30,000, 35 to 35,000 people. The Jews, around 20,000 people. The Baha'i, estimated around 300,000. And then you have the Mandians, around 5,000 to 10,000 people, right? For you to understand, let's come to Israel. How does Israel look on both the ethnic and religious, and part of it? Jews. The Jews in Israel, they form the majority, making up 73.5% to 74.2% of the population, the Jews. So it's not Christian, it's not Muslim. Israel, the Jews, 73 to 74% of the population. This group includes diverse Jewish communities with varying levels of religious observance, secular, traditional, religious, and Haredi or ultra-Orthodox. 2. Arabs. This is the largest minority group, comprising around 20 to 21%. The Arabs are the largest minority groups, comparing 20 to 21% of the population. The Arab population in Israel is further broken down by religion. Let's come to the religion. Muslims. Among the Arabs are the tribe there. Among the Arabs, you have the Muslim, the largest religious group among Arabs, making up about 17% to 18% of Israel's total population. Most of the Muslims in this place, most of the Muslims in Israel are Sunni. You understand? Most of the Muslims in Israel are Sunni. And then the Muslims in Iran are Shia. Right? Now, Christians around 1.9% to 2% of Israel's population are Christian. In Israel, for those of you who are Christian, you think it's a matter of Christian, right? The record shows that Christians in Israel are just around 1.9 to 2%. It's just equal to the percentage of Muslim in Iran, 2%. But the number of Muslims in Iran are more than the number of Muslims, the number of Christians in Israel, because the population sizes are different, strikingly different, right? But it's just 2%. So what 2% people get to do with people ballistic war, ballistic missile throwing, and we just in there part of the war, just to take time in this internet age to just read and guard your perspectives. It's difficult. That even if you and your brother get issue now, and you just hate your brother in way, or you dislike your brother in way, you can't just jump into civilized conversation and sentimentally. Right? Education allows that you take your time, you read, you understand context, and these contexts can guide your perspectives or whatever you do. But you still reserve the right, to choose a side. But it's important that your side you choose is not done out of ignorance or with the wrong premise. Premise it on the facts. Right? Say, I'm not religion being about, I just hate the people, and stuff. Yeah, that one. When you say some people listen to that, one reason you can make sure that you have the facts. Then you have the Druze, D-R-U-Z-E. They constitute about 1.6% of the population and have their own distinct ethno-religious identity. They have their own traditional religion. Other unclassified, the remaining 4% to 5% include various smaller groups like Samaritans, Baha'i, and others who don't identify with the main religious categories or people with religious affiliation. So that is Israel for you, just as it was Iran for you. For those of you that needed that, and to guard your perspective in these ongoing wars in between Israel, the U.S., and of course Iran. It's important because we want an informed society. We want, at the end of the day, everybody's still going to have their own, motivation to say a thing or two about the war and what have you, right? But it's important So now, there's also in my research, there's an account that I gathered from Tafe Teman. Tafe Teman is available on social media. You can follow a very versed guy in the Middle Eastern geopolitical stuff and what have you. But it's important in seeking knowledge that you get these things to understand, to inform. So Tafe said a few things that we need to understand. The Middle East is a group of countries in Western Asia. So when you have Middle East, sometimes some of our people view about the Middle East is skewed, right? So you need to know these countries include countries within the Western Asia region, namely Iran, Israel, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Turkey. A part of Turkey is in Europe, right? Turkey is one country that's in two continents. So one part is in Europe, another part is in Asia, and it's in that part of that part that's in Asia is in Western Asia and is categorized as the Middle East. Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Yemen, Bahrain. So when you have the Middle East, these are the countries that constitute the Middle East. The Middle East has a lot of oil. Oil brings money, but it also brings problem. Powerful countries from outside the Middle East want control and influence there because of oil. America has been involved in Iran since the 1940s, sometimes as a friend and sometimes as an enemy. So America and Iran has not always been enemy. There's time in the history since 1940 that they have been very good friends. They work together, just like recently. I think yesterday President Trump was saying and employing the leadership in Syria. In fact, he said he put the leadership there. And you understand? That was quite interesting. Inside the Middle East, countries also compete with each other for regional power. Liberians, listen. So when you have war in the Middle East, blah, 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 you need to understand the historicity and why these things happen. Countries in the Middle East compete for regional power, politically, economically, and religiously, right? But they're competing, the competition, the bottom line of the competition is regional power and control. So the usage of religious means, economic means, political means. The religious side is often overlooked. For example, people often forget that Saudi Arabia and Iran fight for religious dominance in Middle East. This is because the religion of Islam has two main denominations, like I told you earlier. Two main denominations, namely the Shia and the Sunni. Saudi Arabia is predominantly Sunni. Iran is predominantly Shia. So these two countries will always be at rivals, denomination or sectional rivalry that exists between them. So when you see sometimes Saudi Arabia and Iran are out on each other, it's not that they're not Muslim, but they are two separate denominations within the Islamic faith, right? So they both are really competing for dominance and influence over the Middle East. The other one want their own denomination to take over. The other one want their own denomination to take over. But of course, the biggest rivalry in the Middle East is actually between Israel and Iran. The biggest rivalry historically in that region has been between Israel and Iran. And you get to understand why. Israel depends on a strong army and support from the United States. It sees Iran as a serious threat. Iran has threatened to destroy Israel. These threats were made as early as the 1979 by Iran's first supreme leader. And I will explain so that you understand, quoting from my man Tafe Teman. Right? Now, he says, at the center of the Israel-Iran conflict is the belief among hardline leaders in Iran that Israel should not exist as a country. Right? So hardliners in Iran believe that this political Israel that we see, that some of our brothers try to confuse with the biblical Israel, right, should not exist in the first place. It should not, right? Because there's no territory for it. That's their opinion. That's how the hardliners in Iran sees it, right? Last year, There are available documentaries and video to the effect of this, explaining it in detail. So you can take your time and research to understand what that is. In Palestine, Israel has killed many civilians, bombed homes, hospitals, and schools, stopped food and aid from getting into Palestinian territories. Iran supports Palestine. It calls Israel's action crimes and even genocide. You understand? Israel finds pleasure and routinely will attack and launch ballistic on Palestinians. We deny them food and medical supplies, and of course, they'll put them to too many things that UNESCO and of course other international body has defined and categorized as genocide. And the Iranian belief that what Israel is doing in Palestine is genocidal, right? And Iran as a country supports Palestine. The other cause of the war is Iran's nuclear program. So we now move from regional control, right? We now move from regional control, the oil, the fight over the oil, and all of that. We're coming to the other cause of the war. For those of you in Liberia who struggling to understand, you think that Christian and Muslim Benin. The other cause of the war says the other cause of the war is about Iran nuclear program. Now, why is Iran nuclear program an issue? Israel wants to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons because Iran has threatened, right, according to Israeli hardliners, to destroy Israel before. So they say because the people who have shown a war before and they threatened to destroy us, right? So we don't think they should develop a nuclear arsenal. We believe if they develop one, it is an imminent threat to our existence as Israelites. As much as Israel has around 500 or so nuclear warheads that she always uses to, and when you see America always coming, many accounts have it that America always coming in Israel defense, Israel always uses that. If America does not come, Israel say, okay, we are left abandoned and blah, blah, so we'll take action. America does not want nuclear war in the country. So America comes, to quell Israel so that it does not, use the alternative of nuclear action, right? That's another account. It is worth mentioning that nuclear weapons give countries an extra layer of security. So Iran too believe, based on its vulnerability and its strategic positioning, it needs that layer of security and defense, right? But Israel says, no, we will not sit there and allow you to do that. So the nuclear issue is a serious one. For example, North Korea built nuclear weapons to protect itself from outside threat, and this is among many things. What reasons? That's why you don't hear Westerners and other people directly threatening North Korea, in spite of what happened between North and South Korea and blah blah and all that. But you barely hear anything like a direct threat towards North Korea. So Kim Jong-un is sitting there. He read it one morning. He tell everybody to call the hell a day. The liberals of the war, the Democrats of the world, don't dare say no. You don't treat the people like that. Leave them to their will. He has all of the will for the fact that he has nuclear warhead. So you understand? So Iran and other people to reason around that. Because North Korea has nuclear weapon, attacking it will be very disastrous or dangerous. That makes Western countries think twice. It is therefore not unthinkable that Iran wants the same level of protection, but Israel says no. America also says no. By the way, right, it is important to continue to think America only attacks other countries because of oil. Most time we have noticed, and people have said it that way. There are other issues that America goes for, as much as oil there, but there are other issues. America don't just act only on oil. America acts based on its own interests. Those interests are not always about money or oil. Sometimes they are political or strategic. For example, Afghanistan does not have large oil reserves, but Americans still send its military there, right? This has been said to say that because some people believe that if a country has no oil, then it does not matter to America. That is not true. The record and the history, and of America involvement in other places, that is not true. Korea does not have major oil resources. Yet during the Korean War, Americans were there. In June, fast forward, in June 2019, Donald Trump visited North Korea to tell you that oil is not always the case. But let's fast forward to now come to what is happening. Now let's look at U.S.-Iran relations between America and Iran. How have it been? For those of you that see Iran in other ways or America and Iran relations different ways. After the Second World War, Americans became more involved in the Middle East to stop the Soviet Union from spreading its influence. Oil had become very important to global power. America strengthened its relationship with Iran because of Iran's oil after World War II. The record shows. In 1951, a new Iranian leader named Mohammad Mossadegh came to power. In 1951, he took control of Iran's oil and said it should belong to Iran, right? Ostracizing the Americans. This is the beginning of the sour relationship. He nationalized the oil industry. This was during the Cold War era, when America and the Soviet Union were competing against each other for power and influence around the world. In 1953, America sponsored a coup in Iran as a response to the nationalization of oil in that country. This coup led to the rise of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, commonly known as the Shah, right? And that's how the Shah came to the limelight, the Shah of Iran. This man went on to rule Iran for 26 years with American support, American backing, and this was the one that reopened the area for Iran and denationalized the oil industry. The Shah was a harsh ruler, but he was friendly to America, as much as the records show that the Shah was a dictator. He denied Iranians their rights and suppressed and oppressed them. But he was friendly to America, so it was okay. So the argument that, Iranian human rights are being violated, that why America going in, no, the record shows the contrary, right? Like I told you from the get-go, that America moves for different layers of interest and what have you. The United States ignore human rights because, human rights abuses there because he supported American interest. During this time, Iran was a close ally of America and also had good relations with Israel. You understand? The period from 1953 coming down, right? However, many Iranians hated the Shah. One of his strongest critics was a religious leader named Ruhollah Khomeini, right? Ruhollah Khomeini, an Ayatollah. Remember, an Ayatollah is a senior Muslim leader in Iran. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini strongly criticized the Shah regime. He also criticized Western influence and America's role in Iran. Because of this, he was forced into exile by the Shah, America-backed Shia regime in Iran during those periods. Because of this, he was forced into exile in the 1960s. Even while in exile, Khomeini sent recorded messages back to Iran, telling people to oppose the Shia. Public anger grew. In the 1979, the Shah was removed from power in a revolution. That is how Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini became supreme leader and how Iran became an Islamic state in 1979. The new Iranian government was strongly against America, right? Because this is a government that was born out of the revolution against American-backed Shia regime in Iran. So they were clearly opposed to America. And now that rekindled U.S.-Iran rivalry under the new dispensation, the Islamic Republic of Iran, with an Ayatollah Khomeini, right? Late in the 1979, Iranian students took over the U.S. embassy in Tehran. American diplomats were held hostage for 444 days. From that moment, Iran and America became enemies. As Israel became closer to America, Iran's new leaders saw Israel as a Western creation in the Middle East that was harming Muslims. This belief shaped Iran's long-term policy towards Israel. You remember at some point, I told you that Israelis believe that Iran threatened them, that they don't want to exist. So when these new leaders came in 1979 in Iran and they saw Israel closer to the Americas, so they developed the belief that, okay, Israel is here as a threat to us, right? So they adapted the posture to eliminate or go after Israel, and then Israel became an enemy. This supreme leader who was recently killed was known as Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He had been in power since 1989, having taken over after the death of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. So this is for our friends and folks, just for you to understand and know exactly. So where are we? The war has taken a toll on the war. Oil prices have jumped. So record says about 50%. And the Great Strait of Hormuz, responsible for major transportation of crude oil and natural gas from Qatar and other places in the Middle East, has been closed. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard has announced officially that any ship, cargo or whatever attempting to pass it, they'll set it ablaze. So what's this going to mean for the war in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, 1 day, 2 days, if the war should continue? And that's why people like us are increasing our voice to say, oh, let the war end, because it has more devastating effect on the war than justification for religious sentiment and all of that. But let's hear what your thought is on this. At 9 o'clock, we transition, we'll talk about a yellow machine thing, and we'll call it a day. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call. So I'm looking for international relations scholars that are well versed in this thing. We can sit down and have a whole conversation about it to widen our people mind on these global subject matters, and that it is not just always the way in the 1980 people used to talk about global issue. We can't sit down here with all the small education we're getting. Our people still be looking at it. We got to help them to open their minds up. This is the new era. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Abu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Agent G.
Go ahead.
The lawyer of Rotterdam. Thank God I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? The war in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
America got to be careful. America, we all respected the country in the world to be the highest civilized country. Everybody rushing there to survive. But with the strength they are taking now, my brother, they are going to be disgraced if they continue the war.
You think so?
I think so. And Toronto has to be careful. He and the Prime Minister of Israel, they got to be careful. Israel is carrying on mass murder activity in the Middle East. America does nothing to that. What is happening now, they should be careful or else it will be bad for America.
Okay, let's hear what another person says. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu. How you doing?
I'm okay. Let's hear you.
Yeah. On the line of the proposal that was sent to the legislature regarding the LACC.
That is not on the talking menu, but let's just hear your thought, because I want to elaborate issue. Let's just hear you quickly on it.
Yeah, but elaborate issue.
Yeah. That's why I said elaborate issue, but actually that the American team were talking because it has global effect, so that's what we're looking at it. So let's hear you.
Okay. You see, if we have representatives and senators that representing the counties and districts, then that proposal will not work. But if it works, then we are driving Yes, I'm telling you. Because the president is driving a dictatorship. So if the representatives and senators are representing the counties, and that of
because he's seeking to take the power from the legislature and give all the power to himself, and you think that would be equal to dictatorship?
Yeah, that is exactly he's driving at. So if they endorse it, if the House endorse that to be amended in the Constitution, then the next thing we send. The next proposal you will send is to have a one-party state.
So then, what will we do about that one now? Because those kind of things, they are not backed by the Constitution. What can we do?
Well, I mean, it is like what the city say. The man is driving at civil war. That's what he's driving at.
And you believe the citizens will not sit and watch that? There could be potential for civil war.
Yeah, but I mean, why the citizens?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure that is not the desire of the president. He just want to corrupt out himself. I'm not sure to go to dictatorship. Good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Tell you.
Yeah, my name is Abraham Yuma, and I call from Christopher. The issue you are discussing is very, very important to the world, and we all should know that America and Israel have lied to the world and deceived the world, telling them that all getting people, they get it right to kill all people around the world, and nobody gets right to kill people. Why would you say the person build nuclear weapon, but you are the one that building nuclear weapon? And America and Israel are the engineers behind slavery and all things.
But I just read a whole history to you. The people say they have fear that when the people build nuclear weapon, they will be attacking them. They will come for them. So survival too.
Say America Israel get a nuclear weapon. Are they not attacking other people? So if you stay now, the person build nuclear weapon, you yourself be agreed on the UN that you should destroy your own nuclear weapon as well because it's about the terrorist state, right? Well, when you say that all person build it, yes, they should be building it. So that's the type of destruction they are deceiving the world. They make Christians believe that Israel is a nation, and how can one nation be the one to be killed around the world? In the whole Bible, what do we say? John chapter 8, starting from 24 going. Jesus not told the Jews that they are the children of the devil. That's written there in the Bible. It's not that's the only scripture on the ice according to the Bible.
Okay, I'm not sure a lot of people will agree with you. Maybe until after this piece of education we provided. But good morning, let's hear you.
Good morning, my name is Freeman Harbour and I phone from Red Light.
Go ahead,
thank you very much, Brother Abu, for the enlightenment. You see, this is what we don't do as the people. Most often we go to school to change society. So the mindset we have in this country when things are happening is what actually is spoiling our country. Sometimes before you take start with things, you got to know the happening, what's been happening before, what is the context.
That's correct.
Yeah, and before what been happening before, and things that are happening today that causes this thing to happen. So, America and Iran, they had a very good relationship, like you said, in 1979 when everything split after they seized 52 Americans and they put on hold for 444 days. This is where things become, because everybody has interest. America has interest. So when you go against the people interest, they go against you. And that's how things are. And this is where we telling our government today who claim that they know everything that they should stop going against the ally. Because once you go against the ally, there's a bad job of you going down. Exactly. It's not good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Sharif.
Morning, sir.
Okay, I'm Pastor Emmanuel Cooper. I call from Brownsville precisely.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, I really admired your analysis on the trending event in the world. But you make a point which is right, where in a whole nation, because Israel had independence May 14, 1948. In fact, my brother is an ally to Israel because I broke the tie to vote for Israel becoming a nation. So, one of that nuclear enrichment, if you threaten to wipe out Israel out of the map of the world, then it's kind of disastrous. That's the reason why one of the atomic nuclear.
So 1 minute, Pastor. It's a whole defense thing somewhere because at some point, Israel and Iran were friends. But when the revolution happened in Iran, and then they toppled the Shia of Iran and the American allies that were in power there, that were taking the oil, suppressing the rights of the people. When the revolution succeeded, And then Israel was still friends with America. So then Iran said, okay, but then I mean we're not friends anymore because you're friends with our enemy.
Yeah.
So things went sour.
Well, we have to look at the world because the dominance of power, political power, like you said, is playing out. So we have to be careful so that the war cannot escalate, especially in Africa where we have lack of supplies of goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, thank you for the analysis. God bless you.
Thank you very much. The goal is to provide the relevant education so that our people involvement will be informed and all of that. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning.
I'm patient for Abu, my compare to do with this Waka and lawmaker. That bill that Waka sent Abu, just they will pass that bill. If I want lawmaker and that yellow coat lawmaker and yellow machine lawmaker, anything can take a photo.
Okay.
That bill will be 4G. That thing will get for the old man, it will just everything. That thing will get for the mail that is taking what stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much for the enlightenment this morning. This is the common board chairman. COP when you guys remember, I'm so glad it's your full.
Go ahead.
These are our argument from the onset. No, that road there, they are still in rare. They try to legislate it and let it specify America because a lot of people are afraid of them. But majority of the question you see around the world, America is the source, it's the root.
No, the research was not about the genocidal percentages as to who has committed more, atrocities and all that. I know it wasn't about that, but just to give a perspective, the history of the relationship, the tribal composition, the religious composition, to inform our people here as to what is actually at play.
Yeah. So not leave the religious side now because religiously, John chapter 2 says, more have believed in flesh and do a more of flesh. So that way by Israel nation is not yet to say again. The particular one of the is very much aggressive. And I know why. It's so hypocritical. They themselves got nuclear weapon. They got a lot of warheads there that they have. Why you not allow other people? Look, the simple reason is just because of oil. Like you were saying there, in 1953, the Mossack of Israel, the CIA of America, and the MI5 of Great Britain, they came on operation and took the prime minister of power. That is
exactly. That how they replacing with the Shia of and right now the regime change Mr. Trump is calling for is that man's son that they're trying to bring to power if they remove the Ayatollah. Now that they have killed him.
Exactly. That Palestinian in America is right there.
Yeah, he's in America.
When you get away, he's right in America to get free. And you probably again why
exactly. Now you get a point. But thank you very much. Let's take. We have 6 more calls to go. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning.
Abu, this is David King, and I join you for my reference this week.
Go ahead, David.
You know, Abu, America, President Trump trying to plan Iran to be a nation of terror. But if you want to go that route, I think America is more terrified than any other nation. Because if you follow the American war in the Middle East, everywhere they have changed regime. Those nations have never been peaceful. You come down to Libya, you know what is happening right now in Libya. Libya has been volatile. You go to Syria, Syria is still worse than ever before.
So about American government, so the government have argued that it is the people that call them to go and change regime out of suppression, human rights violation, or what have you. Do you agree?
They are voting for the people. The people have not called them to do anything. Look, Syria, Iran has a population of
over 90 million.
So you got 9 million people. If 10 million people get on the street and say
no, not 9 million. We're talking about 90 plus million. You say 9 million. What are you on?
Yeah, sorry, 90 plus million. So if you got 10 million plus people get on the street and calling for regime change. You say got 80 million people turning off for the government. So America, what they are doing in the world, they are creating terror everywhere in the world. Right now, we are going to be facing oil prices very soon. Because the people are like the major water be where people are using to go around the world to carry oil. Get the money, the people launch one of Saudi Arabia bigger refinery, okay, with 200 times. And they are telling you, say, there was a small bombardment. No, small, it's a bigger.
Okay, thank you very much, David King from the Roberts Field Highway. Let me take 2 more calls and then I can take a break, come back and talk other issue. Good morning. Okay, the caller is not ready. Good morning.
Abu, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Abu, my name is Ishmael Kamara and I call you this morning from Painesville. Abu, I want to say thanks to you this morning, right, for the basic analysis. I think it's important that you are actually trying to create the awareness so that our people can begin to understand some of those things, like the basic analysis you provide to all. The more Muslims in Israel, the more Christians are there in Israel and in the rest. And that of Iran, the rest of other places. So these are very much essential for to be our thinking faculty so that we can be able to know how to make decisions as time comes. But then the thing is, I know one morning we'll just get out, we hear the whole world was at place because of the greed of America. So some of the things my own mind is telling me is America is the reason for all these things. Because Iran and all of Israel, they were once friends. But because America decided to come to push her own interests, today Iran and America are no longer friends. So, Abu, America is a serious threat. It's a very serious threat to the world peace and security.
But so America has been the one defending world peace for the most part since after World War II.
So the thing is, Abu, America always have a tendency of playing smart games. America want to establish the World Bank. Today, the World Bank, they are the only one that can provide president and the head office is in that country. No other country can. It's a World Bank, but no other country can easily host the World Bank. So America have always created smart ideas. They want to create the United States dollar to go across the world. Today, they are controlling other countries' economies around the world, including Liberia. So they have always played the smart games. So I'll put it.
Yeah, but they're spending more. They're spending more on war peace than any other country. Other countries, for the most part, like somebody would say, are more selfish and about themselves. But America is shouldering the war's responsibility to a larger extent. We can have other issues and say, oh, specifically here, there. But would you want to take that one away from them?
Abu, what you are saying actually part of record is true. But let me tell you this, Abu. Those things are part of America's strategies to remain superior, to remain, the most powerful nation in the world. Because they are doing these things to protect their own interests. America is a great nation. I want to say it this way. There are people who in the world want to remain on top. So they will do anything. Whatever the cost is, they can honor it. So for you to say they are spending more for world peace, they are only doing it in order to show that they are one person who are doing the best in order to preserve world peace. But on the other hand, Abu, they are the very people that honor money world peace.
Okay. Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, for instance, I just want to be particular to our own country. America were the one that the free states actually came from, that country they came out of Europe. But we know what happened to our country over the last few years from 1980 to now. They were the one.
But now you can hold America responsible for it, and the people get independence. I mean, you are independent. Your people decide to run your country the way they run it, so you can hold America for responsible for that. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you. You're the last caller. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Deputy Slava calling from the Virgin Speaker District number 11.
My man, they say they have Virgin Speaker. What happened? Too many women being around. No, let us more. Jefferson, 1 minute. Hey, God, man. Jefferson. Jefferson. Jefferson.
Allah, it can be bring chaos. Immigrant visa cancel for Liberia, Monora. The same way to the Baga is because on her administration, suddenly have become legal law in Liberia. The same way show is in America. All those decisions are taken in America. It is because of the bad that they have. Show is very wicked. Thank you.
I mean, he don't give me a chance. I want for all the gossip about the speaker small. This the best thing I hear about that gossip. But anyway, folks, that's it. That's exactly the time we have for that. Let's take this break with Crime Stopper. When we come back, we talk other issues right here on the big station Freedom 87.9. And you're listening to the Freedom Morning Rise. My name is Abu. This break, we'll be right back.
My musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hands, for the real authority. That it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it, I mean you cheche. Do well for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people.
Okay, Crime Stopper Liberia. Folks, welcome back to the final lap of the conversation right here on Freedom 87.9. And so at this point, we move in to talk part 2 of our Yellow Machines acquisitions scandal, or if you may, confusion or debacle, that we're doing all we can to have a very clear and proper accountable understanding of how these machines were procured, brought into the country, and of course, the arrangement under which these finances were made available. These informations are public information, and of course, a clean and transparent government must not hesitate to inform its citizens about these transactions. It's important for public record's sake. But on the contrary, the regime of Mr. Joseph Nyeman Boakai has declined to provide prudent financial updates and transactional dealing around the yellow machines. And as the critical media, we're insisting that Liberians need to know, because what appears like a dark cloud. I mean, dark cloud is hovering over the entire acquisition process, the transaction, the bidding, the awarding of the contracts, and all of that. So at this point that the machines are here, the first batch has already arrived in the country, and they've begun moving them from the ports and taking them in war. We think all of the documentations at about this time are ready and it's on hand. Whether it's the contract, whether it's the shipping, and document, whether it's the consignee details, the arrangement, everything about the yellow machine now have passed all the preparatory stages, the execution, the purchasing, and the transportation. At least the first batch has passed that. So when we ask these critical questions now and they're provided, then it allows us to course correct with the remaining. Especially when we've heard already from the committee chair that under the arrangement, spare parts and maintenance are going to be showed up by Liberia. So if we need any spare part, that escort cost is not within the 24, 26, or whatever million in the 20s up to 30 that's going to cost the country to procure. So that one, when they bought the machine and bring it. When the machine tire get problem, Shitu Chu Evergreen, right? Not going to supply us no warranty. The Deering get warranty. So even like the way the guy laying out under the other truck the last time, when we need to change probably the key starter of that truck, we gotta go buy a new one. They will send it to us, but we'll buy it as a country. So then what kind of arrangement is that? Fair Librarian, you're not paying attention to small details in the country, and we have a lot of politics. And I've said, look, this 2026, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this 2026 to sufficiently enlighten and open the minds of Liberians, particularly our listeners and followers, to the point where by the time we reach 2027, 28, 29, people's decisions will be conscious. Unless if you deliberately refuse, but it will not be out of ignorance that you'll be taking certain or pursuing certain actions, particularly in making leadership decisions and all of that. But let's listen to this snippet from.
And I say, yes, I will be paid. And they say, how much you going to be paid? I say, like a captain at the captain level. He wants me to lie. I told you the truth. So they asked me that, and I say, yes, I will be paid. And they say, how much you going to be paid? I say, like a captain at the captain level. He wants me to lie. I told you the truth.
I want to be paid.
So they asked me that, and I say, yes, I will be paid. And they say, how much you going to be paid? I say, like a captain at the captain level.
Okay, this is Mr. Bernie Samuka. Some of the little small update that you need to know about the whole yellow machine thing. And remember, we told you that it's going to be a burden on the country instead of a blessing, right? As a country, are we fiscally prepared? Fiscal-wise, are we prepared for extra burden, or we must be acting to relieve burden and prioritize and, impactful initiatives, right? And all of that. So these are things that you got to look at, right? These are things that you got to look at. Let me bring you another one. I told you we're not just going to be critics of the government. We're going to be issue-based critics of the government.
Here it is. The deployment plan is being developed, but there's a concept around the deployment plan.
Listen to...
There are 15 counties in the country.
Yeah, we know that already.
And those 15 counties will each be given a set of 15 pieces of equipment.
A set of 15 pieces.
However,
unlike what
4 of the 15 counties are bigger. Lofa, Bong, Nimba, Rambasa. They will be given an extra, what you call 19 pieces of equipment. So you have 15 plus 4, that's 19 sets of 15. So you have 15 going to all the counties, and these other 4 counties will have an extra set each. Now, those sets will be deployed based on the choice of locations that have been used in the past, or maybe something new to be.
Are you understanding what Brandon Samuka is saying? The educated people now, when they talk, you got to shove the earpiece in your ear, Google, because the whole thing is getting confusing. The whole yellow machine thing, you're looking at that DP. I mean, so Tabata. Simple thing. A complete design scheme to steal and rob the people. They buy around, and when I see our unsuspecting people getting skilled, yellow machine now come, oh yeah, it's a good news. But are we concerned about the transparency of the process? Are we concerned about the impact? Are we concerned about what it's going to mean, right? Reaching the end user, the end beneficiaries? Are we concerned about that? Does the structuring resemble, a framework that delivers the end product, right, to the last man, right? Should we be concerned about those ones, right? All we got to do is just wear yellow machine.
Deployment plan is being developed, but there's a concept around the deployment plan. There are 15 counties.
I can't even explain the deployment plan properly.
And those 15 counties will each be giving a set of 15 pieces of equipment.
Right?
However, 4 of the 15 counties are bigger. Lofa, Bong, Nimba, Rambasa. They will be given an extra, what you call 19 pieces of equipment. So you have.
So when you do 15 by the 15 counties, that's going to be what? 15 each to 15 counties. That's going to be 225. 225 pieces gone already, 15 for the 15 counties. And he came back, he said, there are 4 bigger counties that's going to go extra set. Right? Let's listen to his narrative.
15 plus 4, that's 19 sets of 15. So you have 15 going to all the counties, and these other 4 counties will have an extra set each. Now, those sets will be deployed based on the choice of locations that have been used in the past, or maybe something new, to be central to the county so that they can manage those equipment. Those equipment will be put in the... No, if I made an error and said 15, maybe I was transposing it from 15 counties. But if the 19...
So it's not... That's what I wanted to be sure. We are on a perfect record. Because we know how Unity Party can lie, so we always want to say...
It has nothing to do with Unity Party. It's me speaking. If I misspoke, I can correct myself like I did. I said, yes, it's 19 for the 15 counties, not 15 for the 15 counties. 19 sets of equipment. So it has nothing to do with Unity Party. Right. So no.
No, Mr. Former Defense Minister who was found guilty of taking the army people money, that is not correct. It has a whole lot to do with the Unity Party because this is the Unity Party-led government. It has plenty of things to do with the Unity Party, and it has to do with the history inside here. So that means 4 of the large counties will receive 30 pieces each, while the remaining counties will receive 15 each. So if you take the 4 counties from there, then that means 11 other counties under the rescue determination will receive 15, while 4 other counties that they have designed as big counties will receive 30 pieces each. One county will get 30, Nimba will get 30, Lofa 30, Grand Bassa 30. And I'd like to let you know that it's politically informed. And you understand? Now, who are the wheelers, the power wheelers within the Unity Party Alliance or the Unity Party government structure? Where are they from? Lofa County, as you know it, was the president, and a flank, right, of top government officials, movers and shakers from Lofa. So their affluence and influence needs to be felt. So 30 pieces of the machines procured by all of us taxes will go to Lofa to appease the political whims of these sons and daughters that are from Lofa, and then they go and take. Right? Nimba, the vice president from Nimba and others. So 30 pieces goes to Nimba, right? Under this extremely political and politicized environment, they make a political decision to send 30 pieces to Nimba County, 30 pieces to Lofa County, right? Are you understanding? And then they send 30 pieces to Mambon County, right? Senator Prince Moy, you all know Prince Moy come to the Unity Party stuff or the position he stands. He needs to be backed. Prince Moy and the vice president can go and leave Prince Moy behind. So this North Central Alliance benefits the highest trunk with Grand Bassa in order to appease Yombly and Dillon and to cement their grip on the Bassa belt. They say, okay, we'll give you 30 pieces. Right? Totaling the 4 counties are receiving 30 pieces each. That is the distribution pattern. Does that look equitable? Does that look fair? Does that look balanced to you? Right? So now, where are the most stubborn, challenging portions or parts of Liberia that have cried out that when these are actually designed to intervene into rural matters, right, you will categorize the country into zones that, that poses huge challenge, need, and demand for rural intervention. We know every part of the country, but yet there are particular regions. So it will be regionalized in that the significance will be placed on that portion. And we know for ages, the southeastern part of Liberia has struggled and cried out loud for rural issues. This is a political slap again in the face of the Southeasterner, and this is even more reasons why Southeasterners should keep holding together. And on every opportunity that Mr. Bawka has had, he has always used it to ostracize Southeasterners. Even Montserrado County, they believe it's a CDC stronghold. So why waste resources and energy in Montserrado? Let's just use the propaganda here and run around and see what we can get. But when we keep hold of the North Central Alliance County and keep them together and keep opening their farm to market road, they've done their statistical calculations, right? They've done their projective analysis of the number and the dividends and say, let's put these things there. Let's do it that way. Assuming we are able to accrue across those three major North Central Alliance counties, very big, very large, very densely populated, accounting for significant political numbers, electoral numbers, right? Assuming out of what we do there to these political cleavages, we're able to account for something like 60%, at most 65% of the vote in those areas. It is sufficient to upset, the dominance of Montserrado County, Mangibi, and in the southeast. So the grand plan for the southeast is to use internal or local dissident to harass the voting population and squeeze out some numbers, around 20%, 25 to 30% or so. That's their project. I'm telling you, this is from their war room, the poorest set of war room. So these are the different kind of calculations, and that's how they want to utilize the yellow machine. They're utilizing the yellow machine, not at the benefit of the country, right? But the yellow machines or these equipments are being deployed to galvanize political voting numbers. And that is what we think is inappropriate. But again, like we said, when we come to the actual operationalization of the machines and what needs to be said and what have you in the question that needs to be asked, that's when we invite the attention of Bernie Samuka. And if he does not, we'll start to have the very tough questions and the tough conversations about Mr. Samuka and what he needs to know. And we ought to be brave in this conversation because guess what? At least the greatest thing that we all need to know is it is our money. Always when you're having conversation, just understand the source. They're not Bawka money. Bawka ain't get no friendship that can get him that money. Nothing. Squeeze. You have to go credit, go take loan. Then even from the loan money they're taking, they're not even being transparent with that one. After 2 budget cycles, just to raise $30 million, you go take loan. What kind of? And remember, the government said it's serious. You hear Gafan talking all kind of gibberish. That you're not able to raise $30 million to buy a yellow machine. You got to go take loan. You got to go credit that one from bank. Say UBA bank. You got to go credit that money from the bank. But they ain't telling you that one. They're making it like Bawka not bring machine. Bawka brought machine where? We go credit money from the bank. That the bank credit. The same way you can go to asset bank, you go take loan. When you go buy those goods, that your goods, and at the bank, literally you're doing what you're working for the bank. All the money going to the bank. Yeah? So you can't just beat at that point and call yourself rich woman or big business woman because that bank money stay in you. So Bwaga can now a test to want to take glory. So if the bank are not going to get money together, Bwaga are going to bring yellow machine? No. Because he had no means of bringing it. He has failed after 2 budget cycles to find money to buy yellow machine. He had to run to the bank to go credit. It is a shame and disgrace on Bwaga part. When we tell you, say the man is incapable, incompetent, and this is where we are talking about 2 budget cycles. When you put all the money together, you know how many billion we are talking about? For the 2 years that Bwaga been in office, the last time I saw an analysis done by Martin Colley was accounting for about $3 billion just in 2 years. Bwaga administration has consumed $3 billion in the country already. What do we see? Nothing. No major capital infrastructure. Nothing. $3 billion gone somewhere. On the year end, $3 billion will be collapsing. 3 billion. That is equal to the total amount of money that CDC worked in for the 6 years. In 2 years time, they may come in to clear that $3 billion. What do we have? We have a $1.2 billion budget now, right? Go to what we had before. Plus other packaging that are coming in terms of money that came into the country over the period. Because the size of the country is expanding, activities are increasing, blah, blah. So that's what happens. Every other year be increasing. So by the time we complete, the man says, yeah, analysts are saying they may people now will finish eating around $7 to $8 billion from the country. And then you look around your community, you're still seeing dust. Then you're seeing the yellow machines standing a breakdown, no spare part, no money to fix it. That's exactly how Bwaga going to leave this country. After consuming nearly $7 to $8 billion, right, in projected revenue and national income for the period of his 6 years as president, he will leave us with machines, just like he left the West Africa Rest Project machines in Foya and other parts of Lufa, broken down and grass all over them. That's the man's legacy. That's his history. That's who he is. This man is serious. This man is an unserious old man. His whole life he has been like that. The whole life he has been like that. And sometimes you're wondering, but what is going on? What is going on in the country? Everybody crying, everybody complaining. Sodomizing the children everywhere. President ain't talking. He ain't got time for it. Somebody say the man pledged to dance with the devil. And that's why he can't say anything because these are the devil activities. Jokingly, a friend was telling me yesterday, say, but what is going on? Why people will be doing these things in a time where there are young ladies that can be all over the place available and be talking, say, oh, yeah, me, I got 2 SIM for offer. Right? And then they lay their press. So why they can't go to the one, but they're going to our small 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old children and bossing them, and these are male children, sodomizing them. This is supposed to be a government presided over by a Baptist deacon. But of course, it's bringing shame and disgrace to the country daily. Now, let's go to anything get a Manhattan and make a chunk to a vice president, as if to say a vice president is an able deputy. He doesn't appear like an able deputy. He's compromised. He's a deputy who just don't know what he's doing. He's just sitting there, passing around, blah, blah. All the trip the vice president too made, what have he brought? What do we look at? Where can you see the vice president impact? Aside from promoting kinsmanship, tribalism, ethnicity, right? In employment, hirings, contracting, and all of that. aside from stamping and extremist nationalism in our politics. Like a Nimba thing. When you have a leader that's thinking so narrowly like that, that is a leader that's built for division. The leader should see broadly. The leader should see everybody, should see everywhere. The leader must not be, a lead campaigner for sectionalism, promoting sectionalism. So now, like I said, we are making inquiries to ascertain and understand this company that Mr. Kuhn gave the project to bring in the yellow machines. To understand the company, its history, and what the company deliver for us. Shitu is a heavy-duty equipment manufacturing company in China. And you understand? But our lay records and investigation we've been doing shows that there's no direct dealing around these arrangements with Shitu. That's why if you look at the equipments the vice president brought in the country, the trucks will be carrying different brand, the machine carrying different one, the water truck carrying different one, the pickups too carrying different one. I saw on some of the pickups Sunny. Sunny is different from Shitu. Then you see Dasu somewhere, then you see Peugeot somewhere, all kind of confused things. So like you get to some company, you take the money, give them a pie around, you go to the other workshop, my man. You get 15 PJ or pick up, yeah, okay, my man, give me this kind of, yeah, give you that one. Then you go to the other man, oh my man, I bought those I want. I'm gonna get, yeah. She do say, man, okay, she do give me your own. Then you go to excavator, the other person. How we do a whole country thing like that, then other people say we must not talk about it. We must just leave it, send the color that yellow, we must settle for it. Right? So, Shitu makes these equipment in grades. It's not something that, straight jacket and one something fit it all. No. So then we are asking the vice president office to provide for us the contract details between his committee and that of Evergreen, import and export. We want to know what is the legally binding contract between Evergreen and, but guess what? They will not do it. Because maybe looking at these equipments that they brought and the number of trucks that are there versus yellow machines, the actual money and contract between the vice president committee and Evergreen could be far lesser than the publicly announced money that they are taking from the government or on behalf of the government through the bank to do these transactions. Then we ask, if that becomes the case, where is the extra money going? Whose pocket is it ending up in? Okay, now I finish putting out my suspicion, the real thing I want for us to investigate. Because if you put all these small pickup then press together, you put all these cobalt truck then press together, 6-tire cobalt truck presses together. Some of them will be 17,000, and they have to be 20,000, right? Cobalt truck then. Then you put the pickup at 25,000, and you put them together. No matter the quantum. Let's say for the sake of the argument, you spend something around 6 or 7 million on both the cobalt truck and the pickups. Then you add 30 million there for the water tankers. That 10 million there, right there. Right? And these are the highest, because we have not seen dump truck in the fleet so far. Maybe it is our conversation now that will compel them to include water truck in the ones that come, dump trucks. Increase the number in the dump trucks. But it's obvious that they got to be dump trucks because if you're doing road work, you got to move the parts. You got to move. Then when you dig the rock, you got to move it, carry the other place. You take the soil, you got to carry the other place. Water tank truck will not do that one. And you're not coming to do asphalt pavement with these trucks. You're coming to do road maintenance. You go and just be maintaining the lateral roads and what have you. So will the water tankers be available always to put water there for the doors, to quell the doors and what have you? We ask. No. Because the Yellow Machine Committee, to my knowledge, has not gotten any kind of pavement contract awarded to them to pave roads. They're basically going to be maintaining lateral roads. And you understand? So, but you need trucks. So when you put, let's say, the heavy duty component of what they bought at $10 million, you put another $4, $5, or $6 million for the machines. Or even $8 million for the machines. Or $10 million for the machines, $8 million for the cars in the convoy. That's 18 million. So then we ask, why is the money keep dragging? And one account will say 30 million, 25 million, 24 million, 22 million was what the vice president announced the first time he was trying to take the deal from Mama Car people, right? But then the number keep inflating, ching, blah, blah, blah. And we won't say this is exactly what too many confusion. One person talk this moment and call different figure. So we say, Mr. Vice President, one call matter shop. Your office is very reputable and we respect you. So, Mr. Vice President, please provide the contract. Yesterday, all of them get vexed. They spoil my name all over. They say, why am I be asking the Vice President to provide the contract of my business inside? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, on behalf of the people of this country, we ask because of transparency's sake, we say, Mr. Vice President, provide the contracts. In there, we'll know how much was agreed between you and the company for this equipment, the total volume, the disaggregation on the number of pickups, the number of trucks, the number of water tank, the number of excavator, the number of front-end loader, the number of graders, we'll know. The number of dump trucks, we'll know. Then, when we know, the prices will also be spelled out. How much did we pay for the graders? How much we pay for the caterpillar, the front-end loaders, right? The excavators, they will be there. How much we pay for the pickups? How much we pay for this? We will know. Then when we sum it all up, it must come to the grand total that the government is asking the country, that the committee asked the country for. Then we will get that money. Then we'll come back and say, okay, my vice president, we've done the math, and the math is at 18 million in total. But here, we're asking the country for 30 million. And then with the bank fee, the loan, and everything is going to take us around 32, 33, 34, 35. Those are all estimated numbers I'm providing, right? In the absence of the actual number provided by the committee, and that's why it's important for the committee to give us something. So we have been extremely hypothetical in this analysis. So to set the record straight. Now, so we say, bring the book. Let's see that one there. Then we know. When you finish, then we answer the finances on. Then we move, we come, Mr. Vice President, there are doubts that these machines are brand new machines. That these machines are not second-handed or refurbished. or these trucks or these pickups. So may you kindly provide for the country the manifest of each of these units across the different fleet. Provide a full volume, right? So that as a country, we'll be able to be sure that indeed the truck, what we see, no more guy on it, the whole head open wide, the more open, like now one between Greenville and Sastown for 15 years, the whole engine showing us out. No dressing, no respect on the car. The whole car, everything just chocolate. We won't make sure what a brand new car is supposed to load like that too. Beyond that, the way the car not even go nowhere, just right to Freeport Junction, somebody laying down on the air to do small mechanical work before the man can start the car, the engine will come on. So we won't know what are the car here. They're not old engine inside. They're not old car all running. You go your maneuver mango and pin it and spray it, and then you forgot to put some of the V mirror on it. You forgot to put the more guy on it, and now you're coming to all the money from the country. So, Mr. Vice President, say if you answering the money on the contract on and everything, so we beg you, please tell us how the machine and what are that new machine? The old man said, won't know. We finish celebrating everything, but we won't be sure because the pin part, as soon as you put it, even old when you pin it, it can load new. But everybody in the community knows it are old, right? But the new people that come in, they will see the whole pin. They say, yeah, we're going to find her here. We need her here. So we want our case to be like that. And when the pin start getting old, then the machine show itself, the car then show itself. Someone then hit somewhere. Then we kind of let you just say, oh, we're looking for money to buy spare part. Oh, that because no spare part in the country, blah, blah, blah. She do say this, that's the. So we won't be sure. Then at least we'll know how long the machine will carry us for. These are fair inquiries we are making. These are fair inquests. Now, when you provide that one for us to also be able to know whether they can and they machine they not use them before or not, they get someone on international website, right? So we say, okay, all that the VIN numbers we want. That VIN number will tell us whether the equipment have been owned before, they not run before, where they not run. We have a way to find that one all. Mr. Vice President, we're not necessarily trying to dig behind you, but we just want to make sure so we can talk for you and tell you, say, oh, the Vice President, what the President trusted, and you, yeah, the man trusted. But if you're not trust yourself, then you don't provide this information. So, fellow Liberians, join us in asking these questions because the doubts are more than the clarity. Because the whole machine, when one pass near you, you see the other truck, the whole more open, the Nima poke on the truck. Imagine how the rolling looking Nima. Then you go carry truck, then all the nose already open wide. Then when we talk, you say, oh, don't talk. They're not gave. Right? The one Frenchman called cadeau. C'est pas cadeau. Right? We pay cash. And they're going to be sucking it. I don't know the term of the loan, you know, the percentage and the payback, all the one. You got to follow it. So the country has sunk into debt on behalf of the yellow machine. So we are saying we need to be sure. Is that right? Because they have questions and know why the Liberal go this route. Simply because the matter is political and the president has made a big political pronouncement when somebody lied to him that somebody was bringing machine free, when they had it from the country that they were going to spend $87 million on the machines. It took the same hard questions and making noise about it every day before the real facts came out, right? So right now, some of you not pay attention to some of what we are doing. That the same way when Mama got inside, I think, oh, no, jump. You're celebrating when they went to the play there. Oh, yeah, it's a good news for the country. Nobody said that bad news for the country. But our piece of job is when these things come out, we look deep and ask the necessary questions and demand the necessary answers and make sure that the country is on the right foot. So if we were going to join the bandwagon during that time, but now somebody sitting down somewhere, they get $57 million lying down in their pocket somewhere. They say, oh, how you might get the money? Oh, my country wanted yellow machine. I knock my God on it. So you got to give credit to us, the critics. who borehole in that thing. We told the president picture, we turn it upside down. We told you, say, in fact, the whole arrangement, everything the president said, a lot, we provided things for you. People are looking at us as funny, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, what it ended up to be, we became vindicated, and our doubt and skepticism and questions about the entire deal, it reached a point where the government, the president, got embarrassed, and he had to cancel it and restructure it. And even in the restructuring process, again, we started seeing problems. Because other human beings that the president is working with, their motive is to steal for themselves. And should we all sit down and watch a few group of people be stealing the country money like that while the rest of us are left behind? Then somebody say, we should only celebrate because yellow printed machines and all trucks in the country. So if finish, nobody will talk again. We say, no. It can't be that way. These things don't happen like that in Nigeria. They don't happen like that in Ghana. They don't happen anywhere like that. Then we here as a people, equally educated, must be able to ask the hard questions and demand that the right things are done for our country. Because all of us tax dollars that's going into it. This is not a favor. Right? This is not a favor. People will understand that public service comes with duty and responsibility. So people must discharge those duties, and they must take the responsibility, right, to provide answers for these actions that they have taken. Now, there is something we're hearing about the Evergreen company itself. Okay. Yes, that's what you need to know. There are some of the issues. One, Sierra Leone country, a whole country, a whole government. Sierra Leone country, the whole government. Sit down in your room as you're listening or in your office. Come to think about it. That Liberia goes in a $24 million deal or $30 million deal, whatever. That's all you need to tell them to provide the information. Liberia goes into that deal and arrangement, right? Go take loan from the bank to go buy equipment for that kind of amount. And as we're hearing, there is no guarantee, there is no warranty. When any passport on the machine, the company say, under the arrangement, when I tell you, say, it looks clandestine, it looks shady, this is what I mean. Because if that legit direct-to-direct relationship with the company, you'll have these kinds of area where they will provide temporary or at least maybe 1 year, warranty for maintenance and what have you and blah, blah, blah. Under sound, responsible, legit dealings, and how it can be. But when you deal on the black market dealing can get no warranty. As soon as you take it, you go. Any other thing on your own. When you finish living the market, finish. Right? So, without and what we are hearing about this arrangement with Evergreen and the Vice President Committee, we are doubtful if these arrangements that saw the very equipments that were removed from the port into Camware in Carisburg were not under arrangement dubbed as black market. Because how come? After spending all that money, they tell us, say, parts and material. No period, no specific period to say, oh, in 6 months' time, the company will be responsible to repair, any breakdown or what have you that is warranted there. So the deal that can't get warranty means that deal, that purchase is not made at the actual market value. There was compromise. Because there was compromise on the actual market value, then the supplier will tell you, say, anything happen, I'm not responsible. Then you say, yeah, I agree, you're not responsible. But the only thing we're ready for power will come to you, you will provide it for us. Say, yeah. But when you come in, you'll bring money for it. Say, yeah, we'll bring money. Then we come back when I say, country, but that's not dear. Why in the world you not see country go do business like that? Eh? I didn't want to give. That the way the Indian police will get all those buses, then when passport, we can be responsible to buy it, right? But we'll spend our own money on brand new things. Then the company will buy it for, the company said no warranty. 205 pieces. Does that thing make sense to you? Shouldn't we ask the vice president committee to tell us how did they do this arrangement? That's the simplest question for anybody to answer. We're not auditing your committee, but we're saying, oh no. How can the brand new yellow machine will bring? They even tell us 1 year warranty for mechanical maintenance, or we even come into country, this number of people, blah, blah, blah. We ain't hearing anything. At least in the proposal of the Caterpillar guys, right? They were saying that they were going to train 100, and those were some of the bases why the president even preferred those guys. But we're not hearing that. The president went, the vice president said he knows more than his boss, man, so he will do his own thing. So he brought a man there, his old friend there. He will bring an old friend there, his Chinese friend there. Now, from what we are hearing and we're trying to verify, this Evergreen company, under which name these procurement were done, we're told it was a company formed between 2024 and 2025. Between 2024 and 2025, they got no history and record in heavy-duty equipment supply and what have you. We're still trying to finally verify the establishment. We're working behind the clock to get all of the necessary details to tell you that there were fundamental compromises in these acquisitions. And that's where we are going, right? And that's where we are going. And we want to raise the consciousness of all of us to begin to ask the hard questions, not because we support the government or because we oppose the government, but because we want, as a country now, when the country take a decision, we'll make sure that, there is 80 to 90% chance that the country benefits more than a case where there is 40% chance where the country wasn't robbed. But 80%, 60 to 70% chances are that the country was robbed. 60 to 70% chances are that the country was robbed in these arrangements. That's what we are trying to prevent. How do you form a company between 2024 and 2025, and then that company go ahead and go and procure machine in 2026, right? And deliver machine in 2026. And in that same 2026 there, the machine what they brought, no warranty on the machine. Nothing. So when the machine goes sticking the mud, and then they check it, they say, oh, the bearing, Sonny, you go to Shitu didn't know you. You got to carry your own money in the bag to Shitu. I want their part, then they pay you. You and Shitu didn't get no record where your day business were under the terms and available arrangement with Shitu Corporation in China, then that they have to be responsible for that period. That when it happens, you just send in an email and then they dispatch the parts. They come here with the team, replace, and get the machines moving forward. Or we just want a political uptick. Oh, why can't I bring machine? I saw the old man. You think when the old man dance, that means the deal, right? The old man, the old man, yes, see equipment, the dance. Of course. So we don't hold them responsible. You part to rail a commercial hub. Some people already there, they're thinking over when the fuel buyer will come. After 3 o'clock, nobody even buy their market yet. So they see their friend and jumping. They jump too. They see their friend and singing. They sing. They see their friend and running, going the other road. They go stand there. That means that the machine thing is right. And that's what we are asking. We're asking more for the rightness of the machines than how many persons can stay on the road because they were less busy, because they were not buying their goods. They were frustrated after spending hours. And even the first buyer has not come yet. And then you say, that is enough. No. Mr. Vice President, come clean and tell us, provide these information. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 221 886 500 104 are the numbers to call. Do you think that these accountability questions are necessary? And should the Vice President, as we're saying, tell us under what arrangement that he got these machines here to guarantee to us that our monies were spent the right way, and of course, we are going to get the best deal out of these arrangements. 0776-104-104, are the numbers to call, and you will be live. Good morning.
Morning. Early morning. This is Prince Tingna. I'm here, Prince Willie. How you doing, sir?
I'm okay, Prince. Go ahead.
Okay. I would thinking they are going to be. So when Vice President bring a yellow machine, even arrangement for yellow machine, it does that mean that we should go and start checking behind other thing there?
So what it mean we should leave it at that because Vice President bring it?
Yeah, I come in now, man. I think we have to be praying. We have to be praying for good, right?
That praying, Benny, yeah? You don't pray, go in the church. And you got a church you can go to. We're praying, we're talking governance and leadership issue for the country. The country money investment. Then say, pray. Go to the church, go pray.
Hello,
man. No, man. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning. What can I say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to find out each of the country, how many interest people receive.
I just told you the committee chair said 15 counties, 11 counties will receive 15 each, and then 4 other counties that they have designated as larger counties will receive 30 pieces, 2 sets.
From the beginning, about 19 each.
No, that is off the table now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if it is 15 each.
Yeah, 15 pieces per set. So 4 counties will receive 2 sets of the 15 pieces. That's 30. And the rest of the other counties will receive 15. Total 285. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning.
Oh, thank you for the discussion. This is Washington Slope, and I call from Gainesville. Abu, there's a need we really investigate where those machines were purchased. You need to provide all documents.
Yeah, the other message will pray.
No, it's so funny. I'm listening to you. I don't know how you're thinking. If that person spend own money in green machine, when I check, but when you use our country money and green machine, more especially was that most of the equipment has not brand new, we have to check where the money, country money was spent properly, not in personal money. Then, oh man, I can probably ready to be talking to you. It makes sense, you know, that's what I got wrong.
Okay.
That public money, we have to check off.
Thank you very much. So, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. This is Edmoka. Hey, you know, that was my endorsement for the coming of the yellow machine. Because if you see people taking their precious time to leave their home, to go and stay on the road, leading from Freeport going all the way, sharing and welcoming the yellow machine, then that means the people are endorsing the yellow machine. But to see really it's a commercial hub. The people are there selling. So when they hear they say machine coming, other people will want to stay around to really see. They will publicize yellow machine. What is it made of? What you call yellow machine? People want to tell them to see. So if the government will say that they coming in on few pieces of the yellow machine, even though they say 137, but we didn't say that. If they are believing themselves that was an endorsement from the citizen, that's a sure.
Okay, that is sure. Thank you very much. Let me take God's help. God's good morning.
Good morning, Abu. Good morning to all peace loving like Prince who are in tune this morning.
Go ahead.
Abu, I am still wondering how come our lawmakers are in on this thing without any idea that such acquisition needs to be counter-checked. Considering the volume of equipment that is being involved and the amount that is going to be injected in the purchase of those machines. Warranty has not been given. The source of these machines has not been given. And you ask some very salient questions. You talk about where those machines came from, the VIN number, whether they have been used or they have been used by somebody before they were purchased, whether they are refurbished machines. No one sitting up Capitol Hill who happens to be our representative are interested in those machines, and then you come to talk about the distribution. Look at the manner in which they are going to strategically distribute those machines in their favor with a political mindset. No serious-minded Liberian is taking those things into consideration. But those are the things that we're supposed to be asking, because at the end of the day, the money to use to acquire those machines did not come from the vice president's pocket. It's Liberian people, taxpayers' money that needs to be accounted for 100%.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so let's take more calls. 0776 104 104 086 500 104. For those in the diaspora, it's plus 231 86 500 104. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Thank you for your good and great information for the Liberian people. For the recognition, I'm Joseph Yuti Rako from the Pensy Wave.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Abu. You know, thank you for your work thanks for the work that you people are doing for digging deeper. Why can't you not see Liberia as a frying pan? That you come from Liberia, you come from the frying pan to the fire. What do I mean by this? You can continue, duping us. You can continue duping us. You will not have the work doing, and there is no understanding about that work that you do for the Liberian people. This is not his own private business that he's doing. This is not his own, work that he's doing. This is not his own farm that he owns, that he will employ people, whatever he wants to do on that farm, he do it. There is a nation. I beg Bouaka should stop taking Liberia his farm. He should stop taking the people of Liberia to be very, or nothing. We beg him, let people do things that are very honorable.
Okay, thank you very much. Those things that are very honorable. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Abu.
Morning.
Yeah, this is the voice of Idrissa Samba. Abu, sometimes he's sick in my spirit. I don't know if I call over. The guy sounded so low. I just come on the plan with nothing more pray.
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah, but sitting differently. So you made a point. Forget about it.
You are going to do a gentleman agreement, but you feel on that. We are limited mindset. You should pray. I don't know what this guy. I don't know what I believe the guy.
No, forget about it. I tell you, when you call you, forget about your friend. Let me make a point. You made a point. Here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're the last caller.
Thank you. Yeah, Abu. This is the common board chairman, Abu. Before I let my thought, I beg you, I'll let you to share your number with me. I want to talk behind the scene, please.
Okay.
Oh, to the issue. You see, Abu, that is why each time I always telling you thank you, applauding you for the step some of you guys, young as you are, have taken to electing the minds of Liberians. Listen to that guy who was just speaking that kind of way, that kind of accused and naive way of speaking. Abu, look, government money or governmental sector, people move there for service providing purposes. You move to provide service for us. You are there in leadership as a servant to serve the people. What is wrong with asking a leader the hard questions to be accountable to we the people?
Okay.
Don't that guy know that we are the employer of our leader? That we got to go and stay idle for accountability, Abu?
Okay.
That's just the part that tells me, Abu. I beg you, don't forget that number, please.
Thank you very much. I think he's going to know that now. And so, folks, time is not our good friend. That's all the time we've got to be here. We will be here on tomorrow, of course. Many thanks to all of you that participated on the conversation this morning. It's always a good thing to have you join us. Let's keep talking because that's what we have to do. And basically, we are raising these questions to make sure that our country does not continue in the cycle of robbery and scam. As you all may know, this is a very similar way we decided to shut our mouths. And of course, the president continued constructing $10 million project in Foya when there was no public information and all of that, right? That was robbery, right? And then the Minister of Public Works was given $22 million to do roads. $22 million. The country got scammed, right? $250,000 for water supply in Gbapolu County was robbed, and what got delivered was faucet, common faucet, simple faucet that could not even pump water 1 week later, right? And now we are talking about these yellow machines and how they were brought into the country. They're relevant questions, they're national questions, they're accountability issues, and that's what we are seeking to know. And the onus is on the detail bearer to provide the necessary public clarity. That's what we are doing. My name is Abu. This has been a Tuesday morning presentation of Freedom Money Rise on Freedom 87.9. This is how we like to wind down the curtains. Until we see you tomorrow, do have yourself a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
They change their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom fighters.